Okay, listen. So, this little red pillow that you were looking at is the very first thing I ever made back in 1976. My sister, may she rest in peace, Monique, showed me how to thread a needle and how to do a basic stitch. I remember that day, and I remember just being so fascinated in doing that and being able to make something. But let me go back a little bit. So I remember reading the story in one of our books at home of Cinderella and seeing the mice with the needle and thread, and they were making Cinderella's dress. And I think after I read that story and saw them working with the needle and thread and what they created, I wanted to be able to do the same thing. And so I went to my sister. I think this was actually from like an old t-shirt. And we took that fabric and cut it out, and she showed me how to use the needle and thread in order to make it. And I've been hooked ever since then. And I don't know that at that time, of course, when I was 6 years old, that it would be something that I would be still doing almost 50 years later. But I'm grateful for how my journey started. And I just point this out because sometimes with our kids, or even if you go back and look at some things that maybe you did when you were younger, is that something that is that an area that maybe you should go back and pursue? Maybe there's something you started very early in life, and maybe it's time to pick it back up. Or, just don't despise, as the Bible calls, small beginnings, because you just never know where it could lead. And so I'm so glad that over the years, my mom, she never tried to get me to do something else. It was never like, oh, well, no, you need to go do this instead. She allowed me to be creative. She encouraged me. She supported me. Even if I think at times maybe it didn't always even make sense to her, she was supportive. She never talked down on it. And I think also because it was something she never had to tell me, go make this, go sew that. I mean, I was always searching and looking and researching and trying to figure things out. And so I just want to, encourage you, wherever you are starting on your journey, start. It started with a little red pillow, and now, I make prom dresses and wedding gowns and, dress people for their everyday lives. And so it really has been a blessing. I'm so glad that I did it. And I'm glad to have some relics, if you will, from the times past. So every now and then I'll be showing you all just some things that I made over the years that I do still have. This very first thing being one of them. So enjoy the journey, and whatever I can do to help. If you have questions, please, leave your questions in the comments. Tell me where you are. If you're frustrated and you don't know what your next step will be, let's talk about it. So, let's get a conversation going, okay, in the comments. And just keep going, keep pushing.